What's going on, team? Proof here, and today's video is going to be me doing something that's more wholesome or fun, and the idea came from watching Different Fights video around the same topic, which is my 3 favorite decks of all time, at least up to this point in time. And it kind of gives me a way to talk about some decks that I enjoyed and the reasons behind it. Maybe it might not necessarily be the best deck that I've ever played, excuse me, but it kind of has a memory attached to it for a point in time, which makes it special to me. And I'm gonna go through the 3 decks, and I have one honorable mention deck that I don't think quite made the cut, but it's still a memorable deck for me. And yeah, let's hope you enjoy. And then at the end of this, if you enjoyed it, I hope you, if you're a content creator, and hope maybe you can make a video yourself talking about your 3 favorite decks, or if you just want to comment what your favorite decks are. I really like to hear what people's favorite decks over time have been. So my number 3 deck for me might surprise you that it's not a Spike Brothers deck. It's actually BTO3 Pale Moon, and the reason for that is because it was the deck that I used to win my first ever tournament in Vanguard. And the story behind that is that when I found the game, I was kind of floundering, where that I didn't quite win a lot, started to get my feet wet underneath me, or started to get my feet underneath me, and started to get better over time. And then on the old Beyond game, the new BTO3 stuff kind of came out, because we had this weird funky order, I believe. I can't remember the exact order, but it didn't follow straight down the line. So we finally got to BTO3, which had like Robert and Alice, and then I think his name was Mira Magician and Nightmare Bunny, or Midnight Bunny, all those cards that help facilitate the soul like shenanigans that went on there. And I kind of got a grasp for it, got a hang of it, and I ended up winning one of their big tournaments at that time, which allowed me to become a free agent for a team battle that was going on the following weekend. But schedules didn't really work out for me because I had track and field stuff going on, so that kind of fell off. But it was still exciting to finally win a big tournament, or for me at the time. And it all came off the heels of playing this Pale Moon deck that I picked up and played a little bit from here and there. And so because of that, that stuff will always hold a little special place in my little Vanguard heart, because it was the first deck I used to win a tournament. And it's kind of surprising how I didn't end up playing the current standard Pale Moon stuff, because it was kind of return to form of the old set, except it didn't require more hitting to work, because all the old stuff required you to hit for it to activate. But now you kind of do it more freely, but I'm kind of set in my ways now to where I don't go back and play it. I might play it one day, and I might showcase it for you guys and watch me do terribly with it, because I'm kind of interested to go back to it and see how it goes. And my number 2 favorite deck of all time is the very start of Stride era support for Spikes, which was the Tech Booster Rising Miracle deck. And if you guys were old followers back then, you saw how often I put out content for that deck. I even made like a 50-minute deck journey, kind of talking about how the deck changed over time up to that present moment. And I really enjoyed that deck. And the reason it's so special is because that's where my channel really took off. Because at that time I was doing more chart breakdowns of stuff, because I was kind of bored. And I was like, how much can this particular combo generate in attacks and force cards out of my opponent's hand? And I would share them on Vanguardians, or I think it was the North America page, one of the two. And I really enjoyed it, and I thought I could make this in more video form. And I kind of did it, and the timing kind of worked out to where people really liked that kind of breakdown for it. And more people started gravitating to the channel and started seeing that Spikes were more of a threat to contend with. And that's where kind of things kind of jumped off for me, because a series of events happened to where the channel got bigger in that particular year, and it kind of came off the heels as Rising Miracle being the impetus of that. And thanks to that, it kind of made the deck really special to me, and I still enjoyed playing it, because it was really tough to play against in early Stride era, because there was not a lot of combo disruption going on at the time. So you get Frog Raider down, you do your your rising things, call out your devil watches with the misery doing her thing as well, and generate like 12 attacks off your soul setup. And it was really fun at the time to me because nobody could really stop it, and so it kind of helped me get a better foot and understanding of how the game is played during the G era. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and it helped my channel grow. It came along with me up to this point, and that's what makes it special to me. And before I get to number one, I kind of want to talk about my honorable mention, and that is the Legion era Revenger's Abyss deck, featuring Blaster Dark, Revenger Abyss, Phantom Blaster Abyss, all that jazz going on. Because when I moved up to Connecticut, where I presently am, it was during the time where Break Ride and Limit Break was ending and Legion was starting to come out. So I was kind of in that weird spot waiting for Ogle stuff to come out, because Bushiroad swapped the order for Legion support. So that the Spike support shifted back a set, and then the Revenger Genesis stuff moved up ahead of schedule. So I needed something to play to help compete at the locals, because it was really competitive local there. And I thought, hey, let me try out Revenger stuff. I might like it, and I ended up liking it. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. I ended up liking it like I thought I would, and I ended up buying the stuff and utilizing it to. I ended up buying it and then ended up using it at locals. Ended up winning some more and really getting an understanding for it. And I ended up taking it to the big ARG that took place at the convention center here, and I ended up being 9th place there. So I didn't quite top it, but it was my best showing at a tournament that large. I think it was like 200-300 people maybe, and I was really proud of it for that fact, and ended up sharing the deck list around. It wasn't nothing unique at all, and I took that deck and took it as far as I could, even with when the Stride stuff came out for what was it, the Legend deck for Ren that came out. I added those Strides there and stuff, and I still kind of have the deck kind of with me, but I still don't use it anymore. But it was special to me because of how quickly I gravitated to it and put money into it and made sure it was the best thing that it could be. And my number one deck of all time up to this point is the Standard/Standard Plus Spikes that has become the norm for me recently with the new Standard stuff that's come out. And the reason for that, as you would expect, is because it led me to my ARG win this past August. And I went into that tournament kind of not knowing what could happen, but I had a nice comfort with the deck from my testing, so I knew if I could just play a solid game, make use of the cards present, that I could do decently well against what the field had to offer. And that's essentially what happened. And I took that deck to first place there, and then I took it to a top 8 showing at New Jersey the following month. I think it was like two or 3 weeks after that. And that deck is really strong, really potent, and it fits my playstyle to a T, being more aggressive early and just putting big threats on board and making my opponent have to deal with them. I really enjoy that playstyle. And after playing combo spikes for I think like 2 years up to this point, because that was the best option available, it was refreshing to me to shift back to the playstyle that I prefer and be able to make it work for me in the way that I like it. So that deck far and away is my favorite up to now, and it'll always be, not always, can't say that. For now, it's the number one deck in my heart, and I really enjoy it for what it does. So those are my 3 decks for the honorable mention. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your decks are. Give me top 3, top 5. Give me 8 honorable mentions. I don't care. I just want to know what you guys have to say about your favorite decks, because I enjoyed those stories. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next one, peace, be easy, happy holidays.